Hello and welcome to the Foundry Roundtable, the podcast exclusively covering the Foundry for Star Trek Online. Except when the Foundry is down for... How many weeks are we on now?
I think Aaron's tamed it to over 60 days now.
Over 60 days. Eesh.
We had missions back up for like a week, maybe?
Very, very briefly. In fact, we were able to do a very fun mission playthrough.
Yeah.
Which kind of got us in the mood to do more mission playthroughs, and then we weren't able to. So,
yeah. This
Yeah.
raises the question of whether that prevents this from being the longest Foundry downtime ever.
I think. Well, I mean,
we did have it.
not that it's a record that we want to break, but
Lighting 2.0 in full.
Lighting 2.0 was pretty.
We can't beat
long.
that because that started about the same time, and then it was after the new year that we were able to start building again.
Yeah, it was quite lengthy.
Yeah, and this is severe because, as far as we can tell from the Neverwinter side, the manifestation of this bug was no publishing. So we can't really work with that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
well,
So that's
obviously, best case scenario is they fix it and put it back up. I mean, if that that's going to take as long as it takes. So
yeah. So sit tight. There was some word on Neverwinter's forums as well that they were going to be trying to bring the Foundry back before Thanksgiving break, but they didn't have enough time with people going on break. So they could be making more attempts in the near future, but it kind of depends on what they have running on in the studio. So if times are busy, that might get pushed back a little bit, or it could happen sooner rather than later. So yeah, just stay tuned.
So the Foundry is down until it's not.
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, and what I'm doing in the meantime, just as a bit of recommendation, two things. Just trying out some visual art with SSF characters and also writing. So if you're really in the mood to do something creative, you can just translate something you've been working on at Foundry into another medium, such as a holiday special in a short story format.
Or you could just write a really elaborate mission script that you may or may not make into an actual mission when it comes up.
Yeah. Or you can do a holiday card with your Foundry characters.
I like that idea. I may have to do that. But in case, obviously, in the spirit of finding other things to do during downtime, what we're going to do today is another classic Star Trek game live play.
Yes. We are actually going to be tackling one of my personal favorites. I mean, there was the really good games like Elite Force and Star Trek Armada, which, I mean, those are kind of like the great examples of Star Trek games to come out of the classic era. But there was a subset of, I wouldn't call them all games, but Star Trek multimedia products would be a better word for it. It came out of Simon & Schuster, which, if anybody knows, is actually a book publisher. But in the 90s, they were kind of dabbling with multimedia and QuickTime. And so they would start to push out a lot of things like interactive Star Trek encyclopedia, episode guides. I think they did a Klingon language disc. But they also kind of, I don't know, I get the impression that whatever team they had over there was super ambitious beyond what was normally capable on a QuickTime platform.
Quick word from the chat. Greendragoon, your audio seems really low right now.
Okay. It is.
And I don't think they can hear you.
It's not nothing. It's just low. I checked that.
Okay.
Just making sure a little.
Trick some things. Okay. I've got it about as maxed out as it'll go.
How about now, chat?
Hopefully, I mean, it's enough. It looks like the levels are better.
Eh.
I'm not sure why it's different today. Nothing's changed on that front.
They're saying it's better. So
Okay.
All right. So what do we got here?
Okay, so Simon & Schuster, like I said, multimedia products during the 90s and early 2000s. But they kind of started to branch out into true games, mostly kind of sticking to the video multimedia process. And they came out with a couple of them. One of them was Starship Creator, which I had kind of hoped to demo today, but it wasn't cooperating with me, so I might save that for another time. But they also did what these games that were kind of interactive movies. So it was like you would play through like you were a character in a Star Trek episode, and it'd be all live action shot and stuff. But then they would have opportunities for you to like interact or click on things to kind of change the path of the story. And so they did a Star Trek Klingon, which I don't own, but I've seen some footage from. And I think it had Galron in it, and it's basically you playing a Klingon and doing Klingon stuff and kind of go exploring that. But then they followed up with a Star Trek Borg, which is set on the Federation side and kind of follows this cadet who's given an opportunity by Q to avenge his father, who was killed in Wolf 359. The fun thing about this is that because this is happening like during the production run of DS9 and Voyager, they basically utilized all the kind of assets that Star Trek had at that time. So you'll see a lot of like all the sets are like reused from Voyager. Uniforms and whatnot are obviously all authentic and props. In fact, something you may not realize, but some of these actors are going to seem just kind of familiar, but not like really like you could place them anywhere. And that is because just about all of them are Star Trek extras. So the kinds of characters they would bring off for like one-off guest spots. And if you look through like the cast list, you can kind of see that it's like all these like, oh, he's like in this couple episodes and this couple episodes, and that guy practically lived on Voyager in the background. And so it's kind of interesting. So they all, despite not being A-list actors, kind of still bring that I know what Star Trek sounds like approach to their acting. So it's interesting. All right, I think that's all the preamble that I had.
Well, let's get started then.
Okay.
This will be interesting. I have seen there is on YouTube a sort of cut together version that's almost like it's sort of like a lost Star Trek episode that I've watched, but I'm interested to see what sort of the gameplay is like.
Yeah, see, because I think Simon & Schuster, what they were up to was at that point in time, the whole digital media thing was a new idea, and they were experimenting to see if they could like publish ebooks. I think is what they really kind of tinkering with, and see if they could make it profitable.
I'm gonna turn up the volume here just a little bit. Oop. There we go.
This is also back when full motion video was the big thing.
Oh yeah, it was shiny and new, and this is I'm pretty sure this is 640 by 480 interlaced, so it's like half that actually. But you have a lot of the creative team behind Star Trek at least advising on this.
0730 means 0730 cadet.
Visual technology by the Duck Corporation. Interesting. Did they actually use the real sets for this, or
yeah? This is a set from Voyager. It's like one of the quarters from Voyager.
Nice.
Yeah, they redress a bunch of Voyager sets for this.
But they were the actual real production sets. That is something they definitely couldn't do today because they just wouldn't be able to use the old sets.
Yeah.
You'd green screen it today. Hey.
Or use Discovery sets.
They could do that.
Well, yeah, exactly. Those are up right now.
So, fun fact: this is supposed to be set 10 years after the Battle of Wolf 359, which the timelines aren't quite perfect, but puts it very, very, very close to the end of Voyager. Obviously, at the time this was released, it would have been in the future of where the Star Trek storytelling was, but so
obviously they did not know they were going to change uniforms yet.
Well, I mean, they did. They had Deep Space Nine and Voyager, so they knew the newer style uniform. And it's kind of funny because everyone here in the future is wearing the TNG uniforms.
Oh, wait. I just wondered something. Do you think maybe they're actually reusing the uniforms that came out of the TNG wardrobe?
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah,
because it seems like if you're...
But when they go into the past, they all switch over to the Voyager uniforms, which is kind of funny because they're kind of backwards.
Interesting.
Temper, young man. What would your father say?
Meet yourself. Little pad there.
And you're still not over it? Perhaps I should introduce myself. I imagine you've heard of me, though. Q. It's short for Q. It was I, who introduced Picard to the Borg, and it's because of me that 10 years ago the Borg came to Wolf 359 and found that fleet of ships and found your father and killed them all.
Your request to make the game a little louder.
Yeah, I'm having a little trouble hearing it too.
And it's John Delancey. Come on.
Vaporized. No trace. Nothing to bury, nothing to mourn. The Borg took it all away from you in an instant. I understand your desire for justice. They don't, though, do they? But I do. You want action. You want to avenge your father's death. You want to kill Borg. What cinch you?
It says it's getting better.
It's still barbaric.
Yeah, I turned it up.
It wouldn't.
I can hear better too.
You can run away with the others like a scared trog, or you can come with me, cadet. The choice is yours.
So, fun fact: the only way to lose this game is to piss off Q enough. You can't actually die in this game.
I want to know what a trog is.
Excellent choice, monsieur. Keep the phaser. You're going to need it. And take this too. Be careful now. Don't lose it. I only made one.
Elsie Bridge.
0758, sir. Keep those phasers firing, and where are my photon torpedoes?
Armed and ready, Captain.
Have a look. They can't see you.
Let's see if we can shake them up a little, Ensign.
Initiating Delta attack, sir.
I'm reading a small weakness in the shields.
Shields are holding fine, but power is down 10%. Weapons having no effect.
Damn, they've adjusted their shields already. Why is it always the difficult species that are the most adaptable? The Borg adapt their environment to suit their needs. True adaptability involves changing oneself to suit their environment. I'm so glad you cleared that up.
Recognize this place? You should. You keep a picture of it on your wall. The bridge of the USS Righteous. Your father's ship.
The Tolstoy just took a major hit.
This is him, isn't it? Well, I can see the family resemblance.
I think she's pulling away. The Kyushu's coming on strong. Melbourne and Saratoga have lost power.
Tolstoy, Kyushu, Saratoga, Melbourne. Recognize the names? Do you know where you are, cadet?
Captain!
Intruder alert.
Security, isolate the ops console now. That's right, 10 years ago, Wolf 359. Security! Look at him. He's barely older than you are. He shouldn't be at security. But 4 hours ago, the real security officer, Lieutenant Sprint, was killed, and this first-year ensign had to take his place. And because of his inexperience, everybody on board, including your father, will be killed. The phasers are useless. Just isolate the panel now. If Lieutenant Sprint were still alive, he might be able to save the ship. But he's been dead for 4 hours. No wonder they don't want him on the bridge. Come on, can't you move faster? Chief Medical Officer Dr. Thaddeus Quinn. He actually tried to save Sprint's life, but as you can see, he failed, the old goat. Well, what'd you expect? He's a doctor, not a security officer. Still, if he had only had
only John DeLance can get away with this much exposition.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also the whole snarkiness of it, yeah.
We desperately need him to play Q in Star Trek Online.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Shield mutation is shifting.
You know who does voice acting? He did StarCraft 2.
I need shields back up now.
Death in battle. If he were a Klingon, he'd be ecstatic.
Ooh, I like this guy.
There's a tight beam transmission going directly to the Borg Q.
Computer is uploading data about emergency transporters.
Anyone near Jeffrey 6? We need manual power rerouted through the secondary couplings.
It's too late. The Borg cube is firing. Evasive maneuvers.
So, now that you've seen your father die, are you ready to avenge his death? Or would you like to try something different? How about a chance to prevent his death? Lieutenant Sprint was killed 4 hours before the righteous even got to Wolf 359. But if the good Dr. Quint had been able to save Sprint 4 hours before, then Sprint would have been able to save the righteous, and you would have grown up in the loving company of your father, and all for the want of a horseshoe nail. What say we give the old goat a second chance to save Sprint's life? You're not afraid of a little space-time continuum meddling, are you, Cadet? No, I thought not. Shall we? This is Lieutenant Sprint. Do you think he knows he's gonna die? I don't think so. Don't bother saying hello. Just makes saying goodbye that much harder.
Time, Mr. Furlong. Oh, 400 hours, sir.
Game volume still might need to go up a little bit.
Coming up now, Captain.
Match speed, stay with it.
Setting a pursuit course.
Shields up.
Intruder alert.
Sprint, look out!
Shall we dance?
Shoot the captain! Shoot the captain!
Shoot Q.
Come on, Sprint. Make a choice.
Yes.
Well, shoot again. It's not going to do any good.
Quint wasn't clever enough to think of it. Good thing I am.
The Borg cube is pulling ahead. It's ignoring us completely.
Match speed, keep us within close range.
Remember, Sprint.
Okay, so I think if I'm going to make it any louder, I'm going to have to restart the game and adjust the volume in the editor. So hang on.
I think we can keep it as it is here at the moment.
All right. Okay, so hopefully it doesn't put us too far back.
Can you shoot the captain?
He's an ox, nothing scares him.
And nothing hurts, isn't that right, Lieutenant?
There are all kinds
There's a few times where you can do kind of odd things.
Prevent you from acknowledging the hurt.
I seize command of the ship.
Captain, coded message coming in from Admiral Hansen. He's ordering us to proceed with all speed to rendezvous with the rest of the fleet at Wolf 359, requesting us not to engage the Borg. Until then, maintain radio silence until contacted.
Helm laying a course for Wolf 359. Pull ahead of the Borg cube and then match speed.
Aye, sir. ETA at current speed, 4 hours, 5 minutes.
Good. We don't want them to get there before we do. And Targus, get that thing off my bridge.
Yes, sir.
It was like these little, you know, sort of smaller ship bridge sets that they had.
Why couldn't they just beam it?
Security alert!
Shoot her! Shoot her!
Do I shoot her?
Shoot
Stun
her.
Yeah. He did.
I don't know if it gives me an option to stun.
Well,
Q
shooting
said
the Borg
shoot
won't do
her.
anything.
So Q told us to do something. Let's go ahead and follow the Great Space Magician.
Okay.
The look of betrayal in her eyes.
If I told you to jump into a Signian vortex, would you do it? You're a sentient being of sorts. This space-time manipulation does take some effort on my part. It's not that easy. I'd appreciate it if you'd make a little effort too.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, I wasn't expecting the game to do that.
Shields are falling. Borg cube is firing.
It killed us.
so yeah, you can screw up, but
Our little mistakes.
I know. I thought the screw up option was going to be shoot the Borg.
He's got control of
I'm actually surprised that she like died, though. That part seems...
Because I thought you were just going to stun her, so she'd be out of the way.
Computers uploading data about emergency transport. The Borg are firing, we're gonna die!
And it's your fault.
Yeah, John DeLance makes all of this work.
From our little mistakes.
Alright, so the correct answer is actually to shoot the console.
Consoles are made of explodium, of course, and it will, therefore explode against the Borg.
Centuries of losing bridge crews has finally paid off.
Mr. Sprint, reconfigure your security console so you can control Tactical B. Then meet me down at the computer core. I want to secure this ship in case the Borg try and board us again.
Good shooting. How about quick thinking, Quint? Good work, Quint. Nobody ever gives me any credit for anything I do.
That's because we don't like you, Quint.
I think we can all save our hostility for the Borg, where it will be better placed, don't you?
Let me ask you something, Baraka. Do you just spout these platitudes, or are you deluded enough to actually believe in them?
Come on, Quint. No matter how hard you try, you're not going to change my mind. I still like you.
I like him.
Yep. I want him to be part of the series now.
I recognize that guy. He played the Klingon captain in The Chase.
Yep.
TNG episode.
The girl in yellow.
Oh, of course.
She was in First Contact.
She was in First Contact. She's the first one the Borg took.
Mm-hmm. Probably hired only for her ability to scream.
I don't know. I thought she does pretty well on this one.
No, I mean just in First Contact.
Knowing he may be about to die, knowing this may be your only chance to talk to him, tell him all about yourself, about the years since he died.
So, question. I've played through this before, so I do know some of the solutions. How much do you want me to screw up?
Screw up where entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most entertaining.
A little bit, but not too much.
The idea is not to finish the game here, so,
I heard you can kick Q in the crotch in this one.
Okay.
If I were you, when he looks at you, all he sees is Lieutenant Sprint. I don't think he'd understand.
Hey, Sprint. What, are you having one of your Bajani trances?
See?
Lieutenant Sprint, the console, please.
Shut up, Q. The captain ordered me to do things. No, do not take the electrified Klondike bar.
I don't know. I think he grabbed the power nodule.
What?
How is he, Doc?
He's just too stupid to live.
There's actually an option for electrocuting yourself. Nice.
Oh, yeah, you can die in tons of ways.
It's a special gift from me to you. There's no other tricorder like it in the known universe. Use it!
Alright, so what you're supposed to do is
scan the thing first.
Reconfigurable bridge panel. Though bridge stations traditionally
I like this tricorder.
This pattern is
it's actually a reused prop from, I think it was used in TNG for something.
Designed into the bridge layout. All bridge consoles can be easily configured to control any of a number of bridge functions, allowing the captain, in consultation with his engineers, to design his bridge to his personal or species preference. To reconfigure a panel, an understanding of the function of the four main nodules is critical. Or you could end up dead. Nodule 1, the delimiter, carries a signal charge. It is always live, unless deactivated by engineering. Careful, the charge is painful. It won't kill you, but it'll hurt. Nodule 2, the power nodule, is the source of power for all bridge stations. It is always live, unless deactivated by engineering. Careful, this one won't hurt. It'll just make you very dead. Nodule 3, assignable nodule. This is one of the several nodules used to define console functions. In this example, the nodule defines the console as a security console only. To control tactical in addition to security, the nodule must be removed. Careful, though. It's hot, live, energized. Not enough juice to kill you, but enough to make you wish you were dead. To turn off the feed, remove Nodule 4, the conduit. First. Then remove Nodule 3. Replace Nodule 4, et voila. Now, you're cooking with replicators.
I just love the fact that there's 4 things in a row. 2 of them can kill someone, and they're not labeled.
Yeah, really.
Like, just put a sticker on it. We'll kill you.
Vanderpool to sprint. I'm waiting for you down in the core room, Lieutenant. Now!
It's just his way. You'll get used to it.
Yeah, but I'd still hurry if I were you. The captain definitely does not like to be kept waiting.
One of the books I read had it that some essential part of the consoles was actually a superheated acid, and that's why they exploded so violently.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the books never went in depth enough to explain why a superheated acid was required to make the consoles work.
Yeah, why any crazy person would build it that way.
So,
or, a Vulcan. Seems like the sort of thing Vulcans might do.
Turbolift manual interface. Federation turbolifts are capable of processing verbal commands in over 13,000 languages. For those species unable to interact verbally, and during ship emergencies, a turbolift destination code can be manually relayed into the turbolift computer via the interface. For a list of turbolift destination codes, see the ship schematic. USS Righteous schematic. A general visual overview of the USS Righteous. Key areas such as bridge, crew quarters, engineering, computer core control are highlighted. More information is available on all areas, including turbolift designation codes.
He is putting a lot of time into this.
This game is from 1996, in case we failed to mention the year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, the USS Righteous sets were redress sets from Voyager, while the bridge was a redress version of the Excelsior bridge that they made for Flashback.
Please key in
Voyager episode.
Code.
Which is itself a redress of the... with Prometheus first?
I'm not sure. This Excelsior was first.
Well,
and then that was redressed into Prometheus.
Well,
I'm just wondering how did they have to do back and forth?
They might have.
Yeah, it just depends on when those what seasons those are from.
Oh, the tricorder prop that Q gives you can be seen in TNG's The Masterpiece Society.
That had several interesting props in it because they were trying to create a alien culture, like a full culture, not just like a 1 or 2 random people.
Sprint, we're waiting.
I believe you're wanted in the computer core control room. Oh, mercy.
This is hilarious.
Why? Because I can.
Turbolift manual interface. Federation
That was
turbolifts
awesome.
are capable of processing verbal commands and over. USS Righteous schematic. A general visual overview of the USS Righteous. Key areas such as bridge,
Crew quarters, engineering, computer core control are highlighted. More information is available on all areas, including turbolift designation codes.
One 150619.
Please key in destination code.
I don't think I did it right. This is... Unless it's expecting me to actually type it in on the keyboard.
I wonder if the turbolifts in this game are like the Wonka Vader. Because it kind of seems like you're not just going up and down in the shaft.
Well, that was meant to be true of the whole...
floor number.
You're not making very good use of your time.
Oh, it wasn't fun, man.
Alright, let me try doing it on the keyboard.
Please key in destination code.
Mister, I've played this before.
Yes, years ago.
There we go. It just doesn't have a lot of margin for error. But yes, in Star Trek, the turbolifts are supposed to be able to go horizontal as well as vertical.
That's why they're turbolifts and not just elevators.
Because in some of these things, they kind of acted like elevators.
I am a very tolerant captain, except when it comes to punctuality. I suggest you become more familiar with this ship's layout so you don't keep us waiting again. Do I make myself clear?
Sir, yes, sir.
Trying to route all of the ship's controls.
Let's get off my back. I'm not ruining my career.
But something kept rejecting all of our attempts to access the security programs. And that's when we found this.
It's obviously Borg. But how did it get on the ship? And what is its purpose?
It seems to be tied in directly to the security systems, locking us out.
Question is, how do we remove it? Sprint, you're the security officer. What do you think?
So this is how Sprint died, as he was messing with that thing and it killed him?
No, he died earlier when the Borg killed him.
Oh, right.
But now we're Sprint.
Yeah.
We can do better. Well, probably not.
And then it does the face hugger routine and assimilates you.
The baby Borg.
Self-destruct initiated.
Oh, he's so proud. He adopts that instead
Apparently your
of
dad
having
is a
a kid.
complete doofus.
Override all security systems.
I can't, Captain. 5 seconds. I'm locked out. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoops.
Oh.
Meddling with things you don't understand again? You know, I think I'm learning something here. Hubris. That's what I don't like about you people. Your ignorance of the working of the galaxy is unparalleled, and yet you continue to blunder ahead as if you knew what were going on. The Borg, on the other hand, really seem to know what they're about. If only they had more personality. In fact, if they had any personality, I might consider spending more time with them. But for now, don't touch what you don't understand.
Sprint, you're the security officer. What do you think?
You gotta scan it first. I'm third. I'm sure, yeah.
I can try that. Oh, crud. I hit the wrong thing.
Uh-oh.
I'll admit, the controls are really tricky on this.
Yeah.
Because in order to, like, pause, you have to hit both the left and right mouse button. But if you're on something, it'll still count it as a click.
So now we're doing exactly the same way you got killed the last time?
Yeah.
We'll see what Q says.
Self-destruct initiated.
Most of the time he just says the same thing.
Self-destruct in 10 seconds.
Bridge.
It's worth it to just, you know,
I can't, Captain.
be able to see the gormless expression on your dad's face again. What an idiot.
It's like, oh god, we're all going to die.
Look, I have a little Borg thing.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, did we get smacked down?
One too many.
Oh. We failed!
Sprint? He's an ox. Nothing scares him.
And nothing hurts him, isn't that right, Lieutenant?
There are all kinds of pain, Lieutenant. Don't let the fact that you are Bajani prevent you from acknowledging the hurt.
Oh, please.
Captain, coded message coming in from Admiral Hansen. He's ordering us to proceed with all speed to rendezvous with the rest of the fleet at Wolf 359, requesting us not to engage the Borg.
Alright, we'll just have to get through this part really quick.
Until contacted.
Helm laying a course for Wolf 359. Pull ahead of the Borg cube and then match speed.
Aye, sir.
I will say there are portions of this game where the correct course of action is to fail, learn something in the process, and then use that knowledge in a future loop.
Get that thing off my bridge.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so you can't succeed at everything the first time, no matter how hard you try?
No, because there's like some things where you run down a certain course of action, and it takes you down a certain way, but by the time you gather that necessary information, it's too late to use it.
Shooter!
I'm okay.
See, that's the thing that the YouTube video doesn't really show you is the ways in which you can all screw up.
Mr. Sprint, reconfigure the security console so you can control Tactical B.
Well, one of my favorite things that I've seen in a YouTube video was someone going through one of the old Dragon Ball fighting games and compiling all of the different ways that characters do their lose-win quotes.
Save our hostility for the Borg, where it will be better placed, don't you?
Let me ask you something, Baraka. Do you just spout these platitudes, or are you deluded enough to actually believe in them?
Come on, Quint. No matter how hard you try, you're not going to change my mind. I still like you.
He kissed me.
Hard to believe that guy played a Klingon.
Well, I mean, several of the people who played Klingons also played other non-Klingon characters, and people never even noticed simply because they were good at it.
This may be your only chance to talk to him. Tell him all about yourself, about the years since he died. I wouldn't if I were you.
Lest we forget the
all he sees is Lieutenant
Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air also played a Klingon.
Hey, Sprint. What, are you having one of your Bajani trances?
See?
Lieutenant Sprint, the console, please.
Oh, another fun one is the guy who played Silic. He played 3 really, really different aliens.
Andropov to Sprint. I'm waiting for you down in the core room, Lieutenant.
All right. Anybody remember what the transport or the turbolift code is?
No.
It's 15 something.
I remember it's a 6-digit number.
Yeah.
How many different possibilities are there if you just punch in random numbers?
I want to say there was like 3 different wrong choices that could come up. Obviously, they don't have an unlimited amount of video.
Galactic says 150619.
Time to find out if he's right.
Please key in destination code.
Turbolift, turbolift. We're going to ride in turbolift.
Okay. Galactrix, you led us wrong.
Nope, he didn't.
Oh, thank you, my good man.
Sprint, we're waiting.
I believe you're wanted.
I love how the guy who's playing the captain also plays the cruise ship captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a joke because it corresponds with the
of the cruise ship captain while perfectly intonating the voice of the starship captain. That is awesome.
Why? Because I can.
Okay.
You just have to remember where you found the code last time.
Oh, I just had to scan the
interface. Federation turbolifts are capable of processing USS Righteous schematic. A general visual
So yeah, definitely the downside of this game is that the control interface is like very, very finicky.
Engineering, computer core control are highlighted.
And you have to save.
Is available on all areas.
I'm not even sure how to save without quitting. 15619.
Yeah, it was 150619.
Yeah, that was the number Galactrix had.
Please key in destination code.
Maybe you're always supposed to fail the first one.
It would be worth it.
That is actually a good point, is that this game may actually be coded so that it always sends you to the wrong destination, which is the cruise ship one, the first time you try doing it, just because it's
funny.
Also, it's making you think you mistyped something even if you really didn't.
I am a very tolerant captain, except when it comes to punctuality. I suggest
I'm also wondering if there's any other option other than this punctuality lecture.
Do I make myself clear?
Okay, so don't cut it off first.
As an extra precaution, but something kept rejecting all of our attempts to access the security programs. And that's when we found this.
It's obviously Borg. But how did it get on the ship, and what is its purpose?
It seems to be tied in directly to the security systems, locking us out.
Question is, how do we remove it? Sprint, you're the security officer. What do you think?
Non-standard technological implant. Borg in origin. Energy source unknown. Readings indicate potentially fatal levels of neuro-generated energy. Wah, wah. Danger. Warning. Leave it alone.
What happens if you just shoot it with your phaser?
Usually you can only do that when you pull out your phaser.
Is right. Until we know more about Borg technology, I don't think we should make any attempts to interfere with the implant directly.
Captain, we were within transporter range for only 6.7 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how the Borg transported to the bridge and implanted the circuit unless...
Unless there were two of them. If there is another Borg on this ship, he's found a way to screen against our usual senses. I'll get Targus to scan against anomalies. See what you can do to help.
Targus, enough. You've got the scans so sensitive, they're going to alert us if a particle of dust falls.
If that particle of dust falls off a Borg, then I want to know about it.
You're too cautious.
You're too lax.
Sprint, tell him. You know, if it weren't for me, you guys wouldn't have had any fun at the academy.
If it weren't for me, you guys wouldn't have graduated from the academy.
Wow. I like her.
You basically got Harry, Ron, and Hermione here.
Somehow that's not
what's that thing on her head?
That's not your fault.
It's an implant.
It reminds me of how much courage it must have taken for you just to be here. And of how much we both owe Sprint. Just don't let Sprint hear us. That's big enough already.
What exactly do you owe him? You'll spend the rest of your life a slave to technology.
I'm not a slave to it. In 6 months, a year at the most, I won't even need this.
In 3 hours, 4 at the most, we won't even be alive. Unless we're Borg.
Dr. Quint is testing the boundaries of the humanoid ability to maintain affection for him, which he thinks he's not worthy of. So what he does is he tries to make everyone dislike him.
Well, he's very good at that.
He's right about one thing. We could end up as Borg, and I know the last thing I want to have happen to me.
For the record, I totally would have watched this show.
We won't let it happen. To any of us, better dead than Borg. Agreed? Even Quint.
Not even Quint deserves to be Borgified, but the Borg definitely deserve Quint.
We got it. Somewhere in Jeffries Tube 6.
Sprint, Furlong. Take a couple of fully charged phasers, flush out the Borg, and neutralize them. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Disc changes, things I don't miss from the 90s.
I know.
Hang on a sec here.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember when games fit on one CD.
Aha.
You know,
actually, we all are, because we're all pretty similar in age. So.
Yeah. Well, I also remember when you installed operating systems from floppy disks.
I played my first games on floppies.
And I remember when
the 4-inch floppy disks.
I remember my copy of Judgment Rights had a bad disc 8. That was super frustrating.
And then it was almost impossible to ever find a working disc.
Yeah, I think I ended up eventually finding a copy on CD.
Mm.
All right,
do you actually have the disc, or are you?
Oh yeah,
working on. Okay.
I've got the original box copy.
I just hope if Cryptic ever gets John Delancey, they take this as inspiration for the writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of works as you know, the Stowe style mission where the player character does everything. and there's just, you know, sort of other people talking at you.
It's like, oh yeah, we need someone to do this. Hey, you're not doing anything right now.
Well, I think that's actually pretty normal of Star Trek games because.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you know,
you have to give the player
have to have the player do stuff. Yeah.
They made the hallway super tiny.
No, my claustrophobia.
I was just watching the stream again, and it does look like the Voyager hallway has just been made incredibly small. Or they're giants.
You know, I don't necessarily recognize this part from any particular set.
Defiant,
maybe?
Maybe?
It's been different lighting.
Also, the wall panels may be different, because those light-up panels look like there's something that's removable from the set, so they may have simply had a different panel on the walls.
Yeah. I'm thinking with the Jeffries too, it could have been dark when they actually had this in the show, so it looks a little bit different now.
This does remind me of the one that was used in First Contact. One in First Contact, you're right. The lighting was very dark.
Also, when they okay, yeah, this might have originally been part of a TNG set.
It may have been Enterprise E.
Yeah,
or stuff they used because it's 1996, so they would have been filming First Contact.
Yeah. Although you think if they were, they might have used a more modern Borg design, because these guys are all classic.
Yeah, well, but the Borg updates did not happen until First Contact, so they may have still been going on with what would have been more available.
They may have chosen to. use the old style Borg, because it's supposed to be around Wolf 359.
Yeah. I just like the fact that we're just staring at his crotch with a tricorder.
Well, he's going to make us choose between right or left to kind of choose who goes forward, and I want to give you guys an opportunity to say on which way we go.
Left.
Sure, why not?
Let's go left.
I mean, we're probably going to end up doing both of them anyways.
Yep.
Okay, left.
One of these is probably a fail, right?
I win.
And he's dead. And
watch your back.
He walks around the corner and hello.
So have any of you guys ever played this besides me?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
It's just the feeling I get from the way the game is written is that this feels like the sort of game where it has like deadly jump scares.
Bad idea. You see, there is another Borg.
Like that!
And he's waiting in the corridor for whoever comes out first. Poor old Dad. I hope you don't feel guilty.
Because he's kind of a doofus.
I could easily see this almost as a Rick and Morty episode.
Remember what you
with
said? Better dead than Borg.
The player just increasingly growing frustrated and also viewing everyone around him as disposable.
Hey, see if you can shoot his weapon out of his hand. Guess not.
Rise and shine. Rise and shine.
They're really going a long way with this fail.
Walks like
yeah.
a Borg, and sees like a Borg. Then it must be a Borg. You're wondering what you're feeling? That's pain. No Borg is an island unto himself. Every Borg is...
Maybe you're supposed to learn from this failure.
Don't send Dad down the corridor. That's what you learn.
Or maybe learning about the way the Borg think and how to beat them or something.
Do you hear that? Filling your mind, telling you what to think, what to do. Welcome to the collective, cadet.
Borg doesn't mean bird of Borg. Absorb, destroy, obey.
Time to go assimilating.
Yay!
What have they done? They've adapted to the frequency settings of our phasers.
So what I was basically able to do was remodulate the...
Is it dead?
I'm getting intermittent energy readings, but they're marginal. Maybe we should try removing some of the circuitry just to be sure.
I say leave sleeping Borgs lie.
His eyes just open.
Could be some kind of autonomic response.
I don't know. That could be a fun thing to do in a Foundry mission, where the player character just, you know, snaps and kills every character.
Shield strength is down 40%.
Or gets assimilated.
They're draining shield power.
Nice going, Cadet. Your indecision caused the collective to attack the ship. I'm starting to wonder about you. Maybe you're just not up to saving the universe.
Shields can't hold. The next hit could do it.
Evasive maneuvers.
On the other hand, that's a great thing about being omnipotent. I can always give you another chance, as long as you don't bore me.
Shields are gone. They're firing.
Oh, and by the way, the game is rigged.
Are they gonna play? Sprint behind you!
Surprise! Rise and shine. Rise and shine.
Wait, so is there a way to avoid getting assimilated at this point?
Yeah, basically you're supposed to punch your dad out and then take his place.
Oh.
It wasn't letting me...
You were clicking off on the click, or what happened there?
And sees like a Borg. Then it must be a Borg. You're wondering what you're feeling? That's pain. No Borg is an island unto himself. Every Borg is part of the whole.
So there's a lot of trial and error to this game.
I like the fact how far they went with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear that? Filling your mind, telling you what to think, what to do. Welcome to the collective, cadet.
For designate bird of Borg, absorb, destroy, obey.
90s games were hardcore, man.
Time to go assimilating.
Oh, Sprint, what have they done?
This is like a 3-4 minute sequence that modern games would not do for a fail.
Yeah, but there's choices you can make even after you get assimilated.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an illusion that this is actually
So,
what you're supposed to be doing.
I know one of them is you can retune the phaser so he can actually shoot you. Otherwise, they can't take you down.
You assimilate them all?
Yeah, pretty much.
You should have done that.
Maybe we should try removing some
I did do that.
just to be sure.
But now there's another choice, and I've got to do something.
His eyes just open.
Could be some kind of autonomic response.
How does that human poem of yours go? For each man kills the thing he loves. Some do it with a phaser blast, some do it with a... Things just aren't going to work out for you if you keep letting yourself get Borgified. Oh, and your father? He cheats.
Apparently you're supposed to punch him in the face or something.
Punch.
Yeah, but I'm clicking and nothing's happening.
Surprise.
Rise and shine.
And this is the frustrating part of this game.
No, wait, it's a Borg. No, it's a Q. No, it's both. Or is it? Cybernetic elements, but totally lacking in any superfluous biological components. If it looks like a Borg, walks like a Borg, and sees like a Borg, then it must be a Borg.
So yeah, this is definitely the weakness of the game. Is it's
You're wondering what you're feeling? That's pain.
You're going to see these scenes a lot.
Yeah.
No Borg is an island unto himself. Every Borg is part of the whole.
Yeah, but even in this kind of losing scenario, there's things you can do, which is interesting.
So this time try not doing the thing where you remodulate the phaser for him.
Try doing what?
Hear that? Filling your mind.
I think there's a thing where you remodulate the phaser for the guy.
Cadet.
Not do that?
Yeah, not do that.
Well, basically what happens is if he you don't remodulate, then the phaser can't hurt you, and he can't take you down.
And we keep going on the rampage.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking it'll end just faster.
Oh, Sprint, what have they done? They've adapted to the frequency settings of our phasers.
Wait, you're gonna kill him? No.
Captain!
Oh, you just hold him while the other one shoots.
I don't think so. You just called your fellow Borg up to the bridge and had him assassinate all your friends. Don't feel bad, though. If it ever goes to trial, you can always claim the collective made you do it. This time, try not to get caught. Oh, and by the way, your father cheats. Didn't you hear what I told you? He cheats. You can't win.
There we go.
Wait, so I guess you had to get the thing where he grabs your hand before you could do it, right?
Okay. I'm going to save a little time because I know one of the
Maybe he only
things you have
does
to learn
that
is
in-
you have to...
You have to push the button on the bottom to remodulate it.
Yeah, I didn't get it in time. You got to like be super specific to your timing.
They've adapted to our phaser settings.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Good idea. Retuning the phaser to a higher EM band frequency. You're right, they probably already adapted to the old ones. Nice shot. What did you think I was gonna do, cheat?
Yes.
I've been Borgified several times because the answer is yes.
You ass.
Let's go see what this circuit can tell us.
Worried that we were...
Okay, we're moving forward.
The fact that the Borg disappeared like that, one thing we know from the TV show is that he beamed to somewhere else.
Well, no, they in TNG they would disintegrate when they were disconnected from the collective.
Maybe, but I don't think I'd get any more information. Sprint, what do you think?
Yeah, it was one of the, I think, best of both worlds.
Really?
They didn't do it much after that.
No, yeah, it's something they dropped out. But yeah, they self-disintegrated.
What? My implant.
I don't understand.
Ensign Targus's implant works along the same basic principles as the Borg circuit. She might be able to interface with it.
No. You can't possibly be suggesting that Ensign Targus be allowed to interface with the implant.
Nobody is suggesting anything of the kind.
In truth, Captain, interfacing with the implant would be somewhat like autoneural stimulation, an experience which Ensign Targus is quite familiar with.
Exactly the point, Captain. Ensign Targus's neural implant is designed to counteract the side effects of that kind of neural stimulation experience. This kind of neural input is...
Does anybody mind if I join in on this discussion? You're all talking about me as if I weren't here.
Ensign, the long-term effects of your recovery won't...
Counselor, the concept of long-term effects loses its meaning when the entire Federation is in danger of obliteration. I'm ready.
I think it would be best if the Ensign were immobilized during this.
Do it.
You could have waited till I sat down.
I could have, but I didn't.
Oh!
No. I want Sprint to do it.
Whatever you have to go through, Targus, will be...
I like the fact that they're using the captain's chair for practical purpose.
I don't think this could be any worse.
They would never do this on the bridge in the show. They would do it in like sick bay or something.
Yeah, but they only had so many sets to work with.
You you've never had to deal with pain, have you, Sprint?
Shut up.
Assimilation. Technology. Channels. Subspace channels. The Borg implant taking over systems. Communication with collective. Jam systems.
The Borg implant is getting its orders from the Borg collective. How do we jam the signals, Targus?
Shield. Modulate mutations. 0.6525 of normal. Now!
Do it!
Modulating shield mutation.
The Borg cube is scanning us.
What's happening with those shields, Mr. Furlong?
Almost there, sir.
They're firing! Mr. Furlong!
Got it.
They've stopped firing.
The shield settings must be in sync with the Borg scanners. They sense us as being part of the collective.
Alone! We are... Resistances! You will be assimilated!
The shield has cut off the Borg circuit from the Borg collective. We've got to disconnect her.
Kill me.
One more CC of neuroblock and she'll be a vegetable for life. Do you want to be responsible for turning Ensign Targus into a Bolian zucchini?
Do I?
Are you sure you want to do this? You saw what it did to Furlong. But then again, you are Bajani. I'll give you a chance to think about it.
But isn't Bajani...
Bajani is a race they made up, but...
I know, but... I'm saying is that...
You don't feel pain or something?
Yeah.
Basically, they don't handle pain like we do. They basically go into what's known as a Bajani pain trance.
So
we should be able to grab it.
So yeah, basically it... Yeah, we go unconscious and our body basically keeps doing what it's doing.
You're not dead, you're unconscious. In a Bajani pain trance. Interesting phenomena. I'm not sure what its evolutionary benefit was for the Bajani. Something like a Terran possum, perhaps. Oh, look. You're regaining consciousness.
Welcome back, Lieutenant.
I guess this means I owe you my life twice, huh, Sprint?
I've never seen
you
anyone
lived.
go into a Bajani pain trance before. Interesting. You were clearly unconscious, yet your body managed to finish the task at hand. I suppose it's part of the survival mechanism. Quick thinking. Next time, they'll warn me.
While you were out, we did a diagnostic on the computer systems. The Borg implant is continuing to rewrite code.
I'm sending an away team over to the Borg cube to see if they can find anything that'll help us disable the implant.
Targus and I are going, but we could use a third. I don't know if we'll get out of there alive.
I won't order you to go, Lieutenant.
Oh, we few, we happy few, we band of Borg. They're turning this into some heroic escapade, trying to make it impossible to turn down. I'll go.
We don't need you, Quint. We need someone we can trust.
Just like old times, somebody. 3 against the world. Coming? Okay. Here's your phaser. Each of ours has been retuned to a different frequency.
Here, take this.
I don't think we need an emergency med kit. If things get that bad, we're probably dead.
There are many ways to die. Some of them are more painful than others. There's an emergency hypospray programmable for neuro painkillers just in case. You do know how to use it, don't you?
We're coming alongside the Borg cube. Good luck. Energize.
Third disc! Actually, we're making good progress. You burned through the second.
Yeah, you didn't spend much time on the second disc, did you?
Yeah, well, I may have skipped a couple of rounds by knowing that I needed to retune phasers and stuff.
Also, one thing with this style of game is that it actually made for a very large game file. Because of the fact that it's not using, like... I mean,
it's video. It's all video.
Well, that's some games that you would think that like CGI polygons and stuff would actually eat up a lot of storage space, but in reality, it's a bunch of reused assets instead of like a completely new file for every single thing.
Yeah.
I seem to remember a number of games would basically look for one single file on those other discs. It was just a check to see if you had them, because if you had them, then you owned the game.
Yeah. They were basically just there for installation.
It was an anti-piracy thing.
Remember, Jedi Knights was like that. You needed to install off 4 discs, but there was only one you needed to play with.
So some of the things like this, though, they would actually stream the video off of the disc.
Oh, that's what it's doing.
Yeah, some games would do it that way.
Well, you gotta remember, hard drives were what, like 30...
Yeah.
I mean, a gig was a massive amount of space back then.
Yeah, no kidding. So how many discs total does this game have?
3. So this is basically a gig and a half game.
Let's see what they do first.
The thing I'm getting at with this is that this actually, the way it's put together, it feels like you have with one of those DVD menu games, except it's on a CD and stuck in a computer.
I vaguely remember those games.
I only ever owned one of them. They apparently weren't very popular.
There was a Star Trek one, wasn't
there? The one I had, I got bored the first time I attempted to play it and never touched it again. Because it was one of those things where you needed precision timing to react to everything.
Odd.
Why?
Well, most of the Borg we've seen have direct interface abilities. Why would they need something like this?
Hey, remember, they've already totally assimilated one Starfleet officer. Maybe this is his influence.
Or maybe it's a trick.
Somehow, I don't think the Borg understand the concept of trick. Okay, security. You think you can bypass the Borg lockouts and get us the information we need?
Nope! Because I don't know the code.
Should have scanned it first.
They've adapted.
Wow, it's a single Borg one-shotted 2 of them.
There's always another one to take its place. You're never gonna figure out how to interface until you learn how to think like a Borg. Kill them before they kill you. Strike first.
This is one of those instances where you kind of got to lose to win. Because right now you don't have the information necessary to get into that console.
What do we do?
Let's see what they do first.
Yay!
Sprint!
Hold on, buddy. I need you conscious. Don't go into one of your pain trances yet.
What is that?
It's something to counteract the Bajoni adrenaline. I want to keep you in one of his pain trances.
It's working.
Sprint, I'm sorry about that. You're gonna have to deal with the pain just like the rest of us humanoids.
Just love all the weird angles actors have to get into to be in camera frame, since it's all POV.
Okay, so here's where we're gonna get the codes.
Yep.
Uh-oh, we gotta kill Theta. Start for Theta, run!
Assimilate knowledge. Interface. Assimilate.
So 133422.
Designee Beta. Alpha 73. Alert. 2 life forms. Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Alert. Alert.
Alright, so now I got the information I need to move forward.
Huzzah.
I have to say, that was a very interesting way to get the information, too.
What do we do?
Let's see what they do first.
What are you looking at, Cadet?
Pretty standard interface. Odd.
Why?
Well, most of the Borg we've seen have direct interface abilities. Why would they need something like this?
Hey, remember, they've already totally assimilated one Starfleet officer. Maybe this is his influence.
Or maybe it's a trick.
Somehow, I don't think the Borg understand the concept of trick. Okay, security. You think you can bypass the Borg lockouts and get us the information we need?
I had things put inside me just so I know.
That must be it. Contact terminated with assimilation implant. That must be a Borg time sequence.
No, I think it's a code for accessing the implant. If we can find a way to interface safely with the implant, we can feed it this sequence and then order it to shut down.
If it's anything like this terminal, it's going to look for a Borg signature. Damn, if we still had that dead Borg circuit, we could use that to convince the implant we were Borg.
That's not a bad idea.
But the circuit was fried.
So we'll get another one. There's no shortage of Borg around here. Get that circuit.
free to beam out directly to the computer core control room.
You'll be back.
No, Righteous. The Borg implant's been overriding our systems since you left, but we still don't know what it's doing.
It's rewriting all of our systems to make them compatible with Borg systems.
I thought our shield setting cut its subspace channel off from the collective.
It did, but it's following a pre-programmed set of instructions. We have to give it an abort order, but first we've got to convince it that we're Borg.
How do we do that?
We use this circuit as a buffer in the interface. It has an individual Borg designation. I remember from my experience with it, everything is filtered through that designation.
Baraka to Captain Anderpaw.
What is it, Counselor?
Captain, the Borg cube has just started a series of random scans.
They're looking for us. I don't know how long we have before they find out that we're not actually part of their cube.
The interface looks pretty simple.
Sprint. Attach the circuit to the Borg implant.
No. Let me.
Maybe I should do it.
Maybe you both should shut up.
If you're wearing red, don't touch it. Just say.
Recognize. Borg designee Alpha Set Alpha of 4.
They're interfacing and exchanging protocols.
Try giving it a command.
Unable to comply. Updating systems information.
It's trying to catch up on what it missed.
Unable to comply. Borg designee Alpha Set Alpha of 4 is no longer a functioning unit.
Disengage that circuit now!
Information assimilated. Retuning shields.
Shield mutation is being altered. The implant has reestablished communication with the Borg
So
collective.
this is what Cube meant when he said you'll be back.
Evasive maneuvers now!
The shields are dropping!
The only good Borg!
We needed a live one.
How lucky is it they told you exactly what they needed before they failed?
That must be it. Contact terminated with a simulation implant. That must be a Borg time sequence.
Starting to get wise that one of their fellow officers is a witch.
If we can find a way to interface safely with the implant, we completed this sequence and then ordered to shut down.
If it's anything like this terminal, it's going to look for a Borg signature. Damn, if we still had that dead Borg circuit, we could use that to convince the implant we were Borg.
That's not a bad idea.
But the circuit was fried.
So we'll get another one. There's no shortage of Borg around here. Get that circuit.
So you can't shoot it.
Nope, that won't lead us to where we want to go.
No, Sprint's right. We need a living Borg.
No, I just thought of something. That one part where it's displaying the text on the console, that's in 4 languages. That's interesting, because it actually put in Klingon text for just because they could.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be something.
We have to use Chekhov's gun.
Without killing.
Alright, so I think I need to...
Medical hypospray. Experimental model. Programmable. Uses baseline replicator technology. Capable of delivering up to 200 different non-zero biological catalysts. Programmable settings. Bajani adrenaline.
It keeps them from going out, though. Oh, but we're going to induce the trance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you're fast enough? Do you really think that's going to work on me?
Self.
You'll be back. Maybe more than once.
What?
What are you waiting for?
Alright.
What?
Sprint, what have you done?
He sent himself into a Bajani pain trance.
There's a method to my madness.
So we're gonna go see something.
Oh, smart move. Sending yourself into a Bajani trance before you get Borgified. I only hope you're in time to stop them before they Borgify your friends.
Wait! Wait, I think it's him. It's still Sprint.
All right, we'd better get out of here before it's crawling with Borg.
Hellway team to righteous. 3 to beam directly to computer.
So basically, by sending myself into a Bajani pain trance, it isolated my consciousness from being assimilated.
So now we are the Life Borg.
Yes.
Interesting.
I guess it's going to be pretty pissed, though.
Yeah.
I said the captain's going to be pretty mad you got yourself Borgified.
The Borg implant's programming is shutting down, Captain. We have complete
Oh, it's the original Spring. I mean, it's just like, what are we doing to you?
Message from Admiral Hansen. We are engaging the Borg. The Righteous is ordered to remain outside the battle until all first and second line defenses are exhausted. At your discretion. That was all, sir.
And so it begins.
And everyone's just kind of okay with Sprint still being Borg.
Into action by either the Admiral or the Borg.
It's the only way to succeed.
They also
Attempts to take the Borg would have failed.
Let's get a battle.
Oh yeah. I'm just wondering about it, how everyone's just reacting personally to the situation. It's like, yep, our friend is still Borg.
Sitting here doing nothing.
Still Borg.
The battle will be won without you, Thomas.
These are the
Worried that
extra
the battle
hideous
will be
kind
lost
of Borg.
without us.
You overestimate your importance to the situation, Ensign. The battle is already lost.
Keep your cynicism to yourself, Quint.
I'm just telling the truth.
I'm afraid he may be right. Things aren't going very well.
Oh, not you too, Lieutenant.
It's important to have a positive outlook, even in the bleakest of situations.
It doesn't get much bleaker than this.
So I guess the counselor is the first officer?
What?
Nothing.
No, I think he's just sitting there because the chair's open.
Kalen?
My son.
Wouldn't allow you to do that on my ship, I can tell you that.
By now, all my friends are tired of hearing me brag about Kalen. I'm sure they don't want to hear anymore.
Did you hear that, Sprint? You don't want to hear Furlong talking about his whiny brat now, do you? I don't know what you're staring at, but I don't like it. Just be careful where you point.
Okay? Just catch your breath. If you just didn't try so hard to make everyone dislike you.
Spare me the psychology, counselor. You don't have the tools to analyze me.
Your problem is very straightforward, Doc. You desperately want to be liked.
If I wanted to be liked, all I'd have to do is snap my fingers, and I'd be liked. I'm an omnipotent being masquerading as Dr. Quint. Whatever I want to happen, happens.
Interesting fantasy. All right, let's play that through. Then why don't you?
Why don't I what?
Make everyone like you.
Because I don't want to.
No, because you want them to like you of their own free will. And phenomenologically speaking, you can't force them to do something of their own free will.
Sophistry, Baraka.
Truth, Quint. Let me give you some free advice. If you want to be liked, try making yourself likable.
Subspace message, sir. No audio.
Read it, Ensign.
Orders from Admiral Hansen deploying third wave. Attack when ready.
Battle stations. Take us in, Targus. Maximum power to the shields.
I love how you just poke things with your left hand
Keep
now.
the frequency changing and get those
Because your
torpedoes
right hand
online.
doesn't.
Time!
Oh, 7:58, sir.
Keep those faces firing, and where are my photon torpedoes?
Armed and ready, sir.
Let's see if we can shake them up a little, Ensign.
Yes, sir. Initiating Delta attack.
I'm reading a small weakness in the shields.
Shields are holding 5, but power is down 10%. Weapons having no effect.
Damn! They've adjusted their shields already.
Here we are again, back at the beginning. But this time, you are security, instead of that little mouse of an ensign.
The Tolstoy just took a major hit.
Are you going to be able to save him or not?
I think she's pulling away. The Kyushu's coming on strong. Saratoga and Melbourne have lost power.
Tolstoy, Kyushu, Saratoga, Melbourne, all ships that were lost at Wolf 359. Will they be adding righteous to the list?
Captain! Intruder alert.
Mano a mano.
Security, isolate the ops console.
At 0800 hours, during the Battle of Wolf 359, the USS Righteous was hit by a Borg weapons discharge and vaporized. It's in your hands.
Security!
Shields.
Nothing I'm doing is doing anything.
Shield mutation is being altered. Shields are dropping.
The Borg cube is firing.
To have come so far and then to lose? All this work and the outcome is the same. The Righteous is vaporized, everyone is dead, and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know. It would have been a simple matter to overpower him. You were so close. I know I'm going to hate myself in the morning, but I'm going to give you another chance. It's not that I care. I just want to see how it turns out.
Alright, I'm trying to click on things and nothing.
You gotta use arrow keys or something?
Mouse buttons.
Shield mutation is being altered. Shields are dropping.
Oops.
The Borg cube is firing.
Yeah, I remember this ending being frustrating and the first time I played through this.
So far and then to lose? All this work and the outcome is the same. The Righteous is vaporized, everyone is dead, and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know. It would have been a simple matter to overpower him. You were so close. I know I'm going to hate myself in the morning, but I'm going to give you another chance. It's not that I care. I just want to see how it turns out.
Click the Borg, just try lots
Click
of
on the-
things. Yeah,
No,
it's
nothing, nothing,
try,
nothing.
Yeah, just center. Yeah, just keep doing it along the line, because it might just be that it's waiting for it. Right there.
Shield mutation is being altered. Shields are dropping.
I just focus on that.
The Borg cube is firing.
Gives us another chance. Just focus on that first line and just click as many times as you can around that.
And then to lose? All this work and the outcome is the same. The Righteous is vaporized.
It also
everyone is dead, and
flashes for a minute
that
too,
Borg wasn't
so
all that smart, you know.
try to do it
It
real
would have been a
fast,
simple matter
as
to
it might be
overpower
timed.
him. You were so close. I know I'm going to hate myself in the morning, but I'm going to give you another chance. It's
Maybe
not that
click
I
when
care. I
the
just want to
search
see how it
data
turns
bank
out.
line is flashing.
Okay.
Flashing. Flashing. Click it.
Trying to click on something.
Just along the line. But it could have just been while it's flashing, so along the line while it's flashing. Because you never know if it's just... Oh!
Shield mutation is being altered. Shields are dropping.
Oh, there's symbols to match up. Oh, so it's giving us... It's giving us the symbols to do the modulation, yeah.
Everyone is dead and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know. It would have been a simple matter to overpower him.
Fortunately, the resolution is not very high on this.
I know I'm going to hate myself in the morning, but I'm going to give you another chance. It's not that I care. I just want to see how it turns out.
Oh, chat's also saying 61330, and treat it just like a dial tone number pad. Yeah, do whatever you did to bring that list up. So just click around.
One thing that someone mentioned me a long time ago is how press the menu like this, doubling the resolution. Actually,
shields are dropping.
The Borg cube is firing.
To have come so far and then to lose? All this work and the outcome.
What I wouldn't give for a skip.
The righteous is vaporized, everyone is dead, and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know.
Yeah, focus on clicking the Borg.
You were so close.
And we got 15 minutes to solve this.
I'm going to hate myself in the morning.
No.
But I'm going to give you another chance. It's not that I care.
Or maybe it'll be
I just want to see how it turns out.
No, we're literally at the end of the game.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so you got to access the drone and then use the right code as listed on them. So you got to click the drone.
I'm trying to click the drone.
Click his head.
Shield mutation is
I didn't do anything.
Shields are dropping.
The Borg cube is firing.
And you're using both mouse buttons just to troubleshoot. Or one and the other.
The righteous is vaporized, everyone is dead, and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know. It would have been a simple matter to overpower him. You were so close. I know I'm going to hate myself in the morning, but I'm going to give you another chance. It's not that I care. I just want to see how it turns out.
Okay, you have to click the circle when it flashes. You absolutely have to get it when it flashes. Otherwise, you won't be able to access it. Now we can't do anything. Gotta do it when it's flashing, and it is, I'm looking at it. It's like a number pad. And you will have to hit 61330. Yeah, this is bad.
Shield mutation is being altered. Shields are dropping.
The Borg cube is firing.
To have come so far and then to lose? All this work and the outcome is the same. The righteous is vaporized, everyone is dead, and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know. It would have been a simple matter to overpower him. You were so close. I know I'm going to hate
I think
myself
Heathen's looking at the same walkthrough I am. Yeah, so it's in chat right now. If you need a refresher on that.
The flashing dot at the center of the line at the bottom of the screen there.
Pale white dot in the bottom center of the screen.
Yeah, so
Right.
61330.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's like a number. 6 1
1
3 3
3
0.
Shield mutation is being altered.
That didn't work.
Shields are dropping.
Nope.
The Borg cube is firing.
Maybe a. Is it the phone pad or a computer keypad because they're mirror.
Nope, I'm looking at the guide right now. It's exactly like an key.
The righteous is vaporized. Everyone is dead, and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know. It would have been a simple matter to overpower him. You were so close. I know I'm going to hate myself in the morning, but I'm going to give you
At least Q gives you practically unlimited retries on the very end.
I just want to see how it turns out.
All right.
Whatever 1, 2, 3 are at the bottom.
So
it's 0 at the bottom. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
Yeah, the top left corner, that's the 7.
Okay, so maybe it's like a number pad.
It is. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. It's a number pad.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It would have been a simple matter to overpower him. You were so close.
Actually, oh, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay, so it's reverse of a number.
It's not that I care. I just
no, I thought we had it
no,
right.
Okay, so
yeah,
I've been assuming top left is...
Top left is 1. That's what it's saying on the guide.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, so
1.
That's 1.
3.
3. And then wait for a second. Yeah, 0.
Nope. Doesn't work.
Okay, yeah. So treat it like a number pad now.
Yeah, try it with 1 at the bottom.
Yeah, because the guide might have just flipped it around.
To have come so far and then to lose? All this work and the outcome is the same. The righteous is vaporized. Everyone is dead, and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know. It would have been a simple matter to
shut up, Q.
him. You were so close. I know I'm going to hate myself in the morning, but I'm going to give you another chance. It's not that I care. I just want to see how it turns out.
There you go. That's 6 down, bottom.
Shield mutation is being altered. Shields are dropping.
It's probably timed if you don't do it fast enough.
Well, hold on.
No, because it definitely ends as soon as I finish editing the code.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that if it's like a keyboard's number key, it's 7, 8, 9 is the top row, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 0.
Okay.
So it's going to be middle row, right, bottom row, left, right, 2 times on that bottom row, then 0.
It's not that I care. I just want to see how it turns out.
Okay.
You got that? Okay, so that's a flashing dot.
So 6.
That's a 6. 1.
1.
Shield mutation is being
altered.
Nope.
Oh.
Shields are dropping.
Wow. Okay.
The Borg cube is firing.
Alright. Yeah, let's go back to the guide and assume it's 1, 2, 3 is the top row.
To have come so far and then to lose? All this work and the outcome is the same. The righteous is vaporized. Everyone is dead, and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know. It would have been a simple matter to overpower him. You were so close. I know I'm going to hate myself.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at.
But I'm going to give you another chance.
Maybe I just need. Maybe I'm entering it too fast. It's not registering.
I just want to see how it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for the 3s, especially.
Okay.
And I guess if you make a single error, it
Okay.
goes
6?
to the lose.
1. Yeah. 3. Oh, I messed that up.
Shields are dropping.
The Borg cube is firing.
To have come so far and then to lose? All this work and the outcome is the same. The righteous is vaporized. Everyone is dead, and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know. It would have been a simple matter to overpower him. You were so close. I know I'm going to hate myself in the morning, but I'm going to give you another chance. It's not that I care.
We just can't seem
I
to
just want to see how it turns out.
Yeah, we got the right principle. It's just the implementation.
It all hinges on sending this Borg the right text message.
Shield mutation is being
Shields
are dropping.
Why is that?
What am I missing?
I think it's just like hitting it in the right spot, getting the timing right, so you're hitting the threes and it's not registering as the same three.
And the outcome is the same. The righteous is vaporized. Everyone is dead, and why? That Borg wasn't all that smart, you know. It would have been a simple matter to overpower him. You were so close. I know I'm going to hate myself in the morning, but I'm going to give you another chance. It's not that I care. I just want to see how it turns out.
Hey, I got it!
Hey.
Shield mutation is modulating.
Oh, shoot.
The Borg cube is pulling away, sir. It's ignoring us completely as if we weren't here.
It thinks we've been vaporized. For a minute there, I thought we would be.
Where is it headed, Ensign?
Direct course for Sector 001, sir.
I wonder what chance the Starfleet forces have of stopping the Borg at Earth.
Actually, they will succeed. The Enterprise, utilizing the emergency transporters on the shuttlecraft, will recapture their Borgified Picard and stop the Borg incursion just in the nick of time.
And how do you know that, Quint?
I told you already. I'm an omnipotent being.
Who are you? And what happened to Dr. Quint and Lieutenant Sprint? And what have you done to my crew?
I'm afraid the lieutenant died about 4 hours ago. Not my doing. He was supposed to die. Just as all of you, I'm afraid, are supposed to be vaporized here at Wolf 359. That's how it's written in the history books.
History? Are you telling us you're from the future?
He is. I am, well, as I said, I exist outside the confines of the space-time continuum. That is, if I want to. My little friend here wanted a chance to come back and save this ship from destruction. And to my great surprise, he succeeded.
So you were just pretending to be Sprint. Why? Who are...
Kayla. Please. I'm trying to figure this out. As I said, I didn't expect Cadet Kalen to succeed here, and now that he has, I'm in kind of a bind.
I don't,
Of course. According to history, we disappeared from Wolf 359 at exactly 0800 hours. If we stay here alive, it corrupts the timeline. Our future, but Kalen's past.
What are you going to do?
Well, the easy thing would be to just obliterate you all, but then that wouldn't be fair now, would it? On the other hand, I do want to protect the timeline.
Are we dead?
I don't think so.
Where are we, Lieutenant?
We are still at Wolf 359, sir. The real question is, when are we? According to the navigational charts, correcting for time, we have jumped ahead more than 10 years.
It's clever. I don't understand.
We disappeared from Wolf 359 exactly when history says we did. Timeline is unaffected and we're still alive. Thanks to you, Cadet. If you hadn't come back to get us, we'd be dust.
Captain, what about Quint?
Oops, I almost forgot.
Where am I? What's going on? Wait, I don't think I want to know.
Captain, with the vessel 34 Mark 216, heading on a course for Earth. It's the Borg.
What are your orders, sir?
We're a Starfleet ship in Federation space. We may be 10 years behind the times, but I bet we know a thing or two more about the Borg than anyone else in this time. Lay in a pursuit course.
I like him.
Wow.
I think I'm going to enjoy getting to know you, Cadet Furlong.
Course laid in, sir.
And they all died.
I already got to know you, Dad, and you're an idiot.
Well, if this is the Borg that followed Voyager home, then they win.
Actually, I'm wondering if this is actually the battle in
First Contact.
No, because the timelines are way off.
Right.
Yeah.
10 years is too far. Okay.
I don't know.
But it does ironically coincide very closely with
the Borg at Voyager. Yeah.
Voyager's return. Yeah.
So what'd you think?
They did the closing credits. Wait, they actually have Majel Barrett, or is it just recycled audio clips?
She did Turbo Lift, I think.
I was just wondering if Majel Barrett actually went and recorded new stuff that they just reused old stuff.
So what'd you guys think? This is the first time we've actually been able to complete a Star Trek game in a single sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Not a long game.
I think the ending was a little too gung ho, but they're like, yeah, let's just go with it.
I think it's about as well as we're gonna resolve that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And without dragging out anything.
It's kind of a fun game, and especially in a format that you don't see anymore, really.
I mean, I've seen similar games done for like Game Boy, where it's like a point-and-click adventure style thing, but it's not FMV. It's whatever Game Boy graphics that people made for the game, and it's mostly like actual static backgrounds and just like sprites moving around on the screen.
Yeah, Zero was playing like first-person adventure games, like oh crap. Oh, I blanked on the name. But yeah, there are a few like just completely full 3D rendered games that really kind of focus on you exploring an environment, trying to solve puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just they have a very different style just because you have a single player character, usually alone, exploring an environment. You get a little bit of like audio log type story about just that place. And yeah, you don't really have that full story, the full characters that you do have in this.
Yeah, so I mean, I would give this game like a B+ for story, especially because it does kind of feel like you were dropped into a episode of Star Trek. So it kind of maintains that whole. It doesn't feel like it feels like this was shot for the show, and just they happen to use different characters or we're telling a story on a different ship.
Yeah,
I would still give it like
a
T
one thing
for
about this
mechanics.
one though is that it's more of a giant puzzle to solve than it is like a choose your own adventure thing, because there is definitely a right way to do everything, and granted, you might have to do the wrong thing before you get to the right thing, but eventually there is a single right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, but if they tuned up the mechanics for modern era, I mean, it'd be kind of fun just to see this kind of like re-released on Steam, just rework the interface, just make it a little cleaner. And yeah, I don't see any reason why.
Galactrix was saying earlier he thought it might make a good virtual reality game, since the whole thing is first-person perspective anyway.
Yeah, well, they'd have to completely reshoot it.
Yes, I see.
You couldn't get like a Q in his prime.
Yeah.
Well, you might be able to do something like remastered video. I don't know.
Well, for VR games,
shooting everything.
You got head tracking though for a VR game to look around. So it's
actually. It depends.
I wonder, did they keep a non-compressed version of all of the footage they shot to make the game?
If they were using the same like equipment to shoot, like they did for the TV shows, and it feels pretty much like the TV shows, so I want to say yes, they did. Then in theory, this was shot on film.
So
and
they
then
might
edit
be
it
able
down to
to
video. So if they have the original footage somewhere, then yes, they could do a full HD remake and then just redo some of the effects. Which, I mean, they were all using like stock effects from, like, I know they pulled the Excelsior from Voyager and a couple of shots from Deep Space Nine's Wolf 359.
Oh yeah, I mean all the space shots are pretty much reused from the show. So, well, we need to end it there because our own Duncan Idaho is actually going to go be on Legion of Myth tonight as well. So,
yay!
You guys have time to go prep for that. So, have fun, and we'll hope that the Foundry is up by next weekend.
Hopefully.
But for now, we will say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.